We are live. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to our 2026 LSC organizational meeting. I'm calling this meeting to order. The time is now 5:05 p.m. We're going to start with roll call. Luis Avila, principal here.
Bridget Bubansky, teacher rep.
Amy Miller, parent rep.
Cole Papadopoulos, non-teacher staff.
Carlos Rosales Palomec, a parent.
Roberto Menjiva, community representative.
Jerry Baumgarten, teacher rep.
Sonia Brown, parent rep.
Lizzie Turner, parent.
Okay, so we have a quorum. We have two individuals that are going to be joining us online pending our vote. So I would like to call a motion to allow LSC members to join the meeting remotely.
I second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Okay, so that unanimous. Okay, so everyone voted yes. So let me,
Yeah, do you want, I'm texting with Jess, do you want her to join the meet? Is that the better way to do it?
because we could do it, but I don't know if we'll be able to hear her.
She said either way, so I'll
Let's
make
see.
sure she,
Let's try it here. If now we can do the Google Live. Or the, I sent them an updated link about
yeah, she
20
said
minutes ago.
she's on the meet. Is it like an admission?
Oh wait, let me send her, it didn't go through.
Oh, okay.
Tell her I just sent her the updated.
Oh, okay.
Into the email, didn't go through.
Send you an update. And then, is that also how Cece was planning to join?
Yes, I emailed Cece's mom and called her as well.
And since we have, since we voted to allow virtual participation, I think if I remember correctly, I think any motions to vote on anything has to be a roll call vote. Roll call vote.
Yeah, no,
That's correct.
okay. Let's just see if we can get them on.
I'm trying to text her, but usually no service. Waiting for it to go through.
Danielle, do you know if you can get the guest network to work for them? I think.
I can't even access it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
It's okay. I saw it a different day, so no. It was kind of
Maybe you can tell her to also join. I have Danielle, can you do me a favor? Can you call Cece's mom? Just to let her know we sent an updated link.
Okay, she got the link.
Okay. Yeah, I pressed on but sometimes the internet is spotty here too.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue. Oh. Yes. Oh, it's Cece. Hi, Cece, can you hear us?
Yeah, hi. Hi. There you go.
Okay, yeah. Hi, Jess, can you hear us?
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
loud and clear.
Beautiful.
That's why I wanted to make sure it didn't interrupt like the live link meeting. Like, so that's why
Yeah.
it's probably better that way.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
okay, perfect. All right, now we are all, just double checking. So Jess, Cece, you can hear us?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect, all right. All right, so you guys are here as well, so I'll mark you here virtually. Okay. So our next item is to assign a temporary chair that will to appoint a temporary chair for the LSC organizational meeting. So would anyone like to make a motion to appoint a temporary chair?
I motion to appoint Lizzie as temporary chair.
I second.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Jose, do we take roll call for this one?
For every
So-
vote, if you have one.
Okay, so, myself, yes. Yes. Fabianski, yes.
Amy Miller, yes.
Cole Papadopoulos, yes.
Carlos Gonzalez, yes.
Roberto, yes.
Baumgarten, yes.
So Lizzie,
Mhm.
Yes.
oh, and then Justin and Cece?
Yes, sorry, I couldn't hear what you were asking. That's,
No, Cece.
yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. All right.
Great,
So
so,
then you would just follow the agenda,
yeah,
and then the next item will be to appoint the temporary secretary.
got it. Okay. Okay, so would anybody like to nominate a temporary secretary?
I make a motion to nominate Mo as the temporary secretary.
Okay. Second. Do you accept?
I accept.
Okay. All in favor?
Nope, roll
Roll
call.
call.
Right. Let's start with Jess and Cece. Are you guys good with Mo as the temporary, secretary for the meeting?
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Fabianski, yes. Avila, yes.
No, yes.
Papadopoulos, yes.
Gonzalez, yes.
Roberto, yes.
Baumgarten, yes.
All right, has everybody had a chance to review the rest of the agenda for the meeting? Okay, so motion to approve the agenda.
I second.
Jess, Cece, approve the agenda?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
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 Yes. Papadopoulos, yes.
Yes.
Roberto, yes.
Baumgarten, yes.
Turner, yes, I guess I have to technically vote. All right. Okay, so we have to, nominate a chairperson, so like for the year, right?
Yes.
No longer temporary. And then that person will reside over the remainder of the meeting.
Yes.
Anybody want to nominate a chair?
I make a motion to nominate Rosie as chair.
Second.
Anybody else interested in being chair? Just throwing it out there. I want to make sure.
You can only be a parent.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. Sonia, are you interested in being chair? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I got Jess, are you interested in being chair?
I would be delighted to nominate Lizzie for chair.
Okay, cool, thanks, Jess.
Wait, Cece, did you have?
She wanted
something?
to, I think you nominated Jess. Jess, would you accept that nomination?
Well, you need a second.
Second.
I appreciate and lovingly decline that nomination.
Okay. That's fine.
Roll call.
Sure, yeah, sorry, we had a second, so,
Yeah,
all right, so Avila,
Yes. Fabs, yes.
Miller, yes.
Papadopoulos, yes.
Gonzalez, yes.
Roberto, yes.
Baumgarten, yes.
Brown,
Okay, I guess I'll keep going.
Jess, your vote?
yes.
Cece, your vote?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, now we need to nominate a secretary. I'd like to nominate Roberto.
I
as secretary.
Unfortunately, I cannot accept that
Yeah,
nomination.
Roberto.
I'm sorry.
Okay, nominate Mo.
I second that nomination.
Fine, I accept.
Yes.
Okay.
Fabianski, yes.
Papadopoulos, yes.
Rosales, yes.
Roberto, yes.
Baumgarten, yes.
Brown, yes.
Jess, Cece, Mo as secretary.
Yes, and thank you, Mo. And thank you, Liv.
Do we, I think it's a good idea to have a vice chair.
Yes,
For, anytime the chair can't make the meeting, it's just nice to have.
so that's item number 9, yes. So
Which would be
just vote for the
nice.
secretary, yes.
Yeah. I'd like to motion, to nominate Sonia Brown as vice chair.
Do you have a second?
I second, yeah.
Do you accept the nomination?
Yeah, give it a try.
Perfect. Who already voted? Yes. Anyone opposed? You can,
It has to be a roll call
we're
vote.
fine, okay.
Yes.
Fabianski, yes.
Miller, yes. Papadopoulos, yes.
Gonzalez, yes.
Roberto, yes.
Baumgarten, yes.
Okay, great. Jess, Cece, we're motion to approve Sonia Brown as vice chair.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Sonia.
Yes, thank you.
Lovely. All right. And I assume, Mo, you're good to take minutes and later. Okay.
Taking it.
And, all right. Number 10, okay, we need to nominate a FOIA OMA officer.
I make a motion to nominate Jess as the FOIA Opens Meeting Act officer.
I second that. Jess, would you accept that nomination for FOIA OMA?
Is anyone else interested?
Does not sound like it.
I thought it was
I will have some brushing up to do.
If you wanna.
You'll have to do a specific training for that, so you'll be fine.
A point of clarification, please.
Sure.
Yes, can somebody explain the FOIA OMA officers, because when I got into the training, I thought, and my perception might be wrong, that it was somebody from school. No,
It does not have to be
Yeah,
something
member.
possible.
and it will be for the rest of
For
the,
one school,
yeah,
for the rest of the term.
and it's mostly the Transparency Act in the meetings, right?
Um,
And not attending the training.
Freedom of Information Act and the Open Meetings Act, right?
Mhm. It's the 2 years, right, Jose?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't just be the 1 year, it'd be both years, it's the term, basically.
I wouldn't have an issue with the taking that.
Okay.
I nominate Carla, second.
Roll call,
Roberto, yes.
you seconded, you motioned.
Fabianski, yes.
Avila, yes.
Okay, Turner, yes?
Yes. Brown.
Baumgarten, yes.
All right, Jeff, Cece, vote on Carla Rosales as the FOIA OMA officer.
Yes. Yes, thank you so much.
Great. All right.
Now you get to tell everybody, did you complete your FOIA OMA training?
Yeah, you're like, be the good cop, Carla, not the bad cop. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so establish schedule. Okay, so now we have to talk about the schedule. So, I know that, well, let's kind of establish what the historical,
Yes, I
Schedule
can
has
share a
been?
little bit on that.
Yes,
I was actually
that'd be-
reading last year's organizational meeting.
yeah.
They established it as the second Wednesday of every month.
Okay,
So what Danielle and I did was we looked at the CPS calendar. You all have a copy of the CPS calendar actually in your packets. And what we also did was we typed up some proposed dates because there are some Wednesdays in the school year that are already designated professional development days or days off by CPS. So I can pass out like the proposed dates that would work, and they're all scheduled on Wednesday.
okay.
So starting with August 19th.
Thank you.
And Jess and Cece, I can, we can G-chat them to you right now. Give me 1 second. Can you send it?
Thank you. And Mr. Avila, it sounds like you were saying that you were looking at Wednesdays consistent with prior schedule. Is that what you were saying?
Right, because the problem is if you look at the entire like calendar year, a lot of the days off are primarily either Monday, Friday, sometimes it falls like on a Tuesday or a Thursday as well. So Wednesdays tend to be those days that are mostly available. I'm gonna share that with you right now for you and CC. I'll share it with you on the chat.
Thanks so much.
Who asked that question? Jess, was that you who asked that question?
It was me. Thank you.
Second guess. My apologies, it's just where the internet's really slow here in this side of the room.
And while you're doing that, just to clarify, so it sounds like you've looked at these dates and these look clear, and so it's for the LSC now
Yeah, it's just that the,
to
like,
confirm that it works for everybody.
Correct.
Okay.
There's one, Mr. Avila,
yes,
there's one date that the holiday Passover starts at sundown. So that might be a hard one to, for attendance.
okay,
Yeah, I'm actually on like an interfaith website right now, just double checking all the dates against like major
Oh,
religious
great.
holidays. So I feel like, I don't know, we can pause or check, but important.
I'm gonna send it to you guys on the.
What date
chat.
are you referring to?
April 21st?
April 21st.
Yeah. I'm surprised it's not start
I mean, it doesn't start till sundown, but
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I would enjoy it, yeah.
Yeah.
I just sent it to both of you, to Justin CC right now. Let me know if you guys are able to access it.
I see that. Thank you. Cece, are you good? Yeah, I'm good. Okay.
I'm sorry, Jerry, you were saying what date in April?
April 21st, Passover starts at sundown.
Mhm.
So it would be like a hard.
I mean, unless no one has any objection to moving it a week earlier, like April
I was gonna
14th.
suggest the
That
same,
would
yeah.
be-
It seems like-
I mean, it's like, yeah, because spring breaks on the weekend, yeah, that would work, 1, 2, yeah. that's-
So I was thinking maybe we just run through and propose any changes we want. We can kind of make one vote,
Okay.
at the end rather than voting on each specific thing.
And for June, we just put like schedule our own budget approval timeline because again, we don't know when that budget will come out. So it's all dependent on the budget release. So like for this year, for example, the budget was released in like around mid-May. So we had to schedule the special meeting on June 1st. So it's all dependent because the school year for this upcoming academic year, the ends June 11th.
So the first, the first meeting, August 19th, is during the week when you guys have,
Correct.
are you guys are okay with that? Cause I know you'll be busy getting set up for the school year and have
Week 0,
professional development days. Oh,
as
yeah.
opposed to the first week of school.
Wait, why can't we schedule for June?
Because the budget,
It's all
when it's
dependent on the
released,
budget,
it's
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah,
it's for
but
the
on
year.
those, we can schedule that regular meeting in June. And if we need to have special meetings to discuss the budget further, we could do it before that regular monthly meeting in June. So my proposal would be to set that meeting in June. And then if we need to have special sessions, just to make sure that we're on board with the budget, and we can have those special sessions.
I thought we didn't have meetings in June, in my experience in the past, but May was the last meeting, and the only reason we had a June meeting was, it
For
was
the
a
budget.
special meeting for the budget. So I didn't think we had a meeting in June.
Typically, that's kind of what's been happening. A lot of LSCs don't schedule a June meeting, but because of the budget process, a June meeting's become necessary. It's totally at your discretion if you want to schedule one ahead of time, and
Right.
you can always change it, cancel it, or just leave it up, to have no June meeting and call a special meeting if you need it.
So we can just like schedule up to May and then in the last May meeting, decide to sort of, again, it's all dependent on the release of the budget.
Okay.
Because we wouldn't want to meet in June if we don't have the budget. It would seem, right, because the main thing we want to talk about is the budget.
Right.
Well, we would have the budget
But
before
we'll
June.
have it,
We
we
will
just don't
definitely
know
have
when
it
they're
before
gonna
June.
release it.
Well,
so it's kinda
Right,
like-
because I think you
Well,
guys
school
submitted
year's
by June
when we
6th,
didn't-
Well,
right?
in the past, they have submitted budgets later in the year too.
Okay, how many times have you discussed in your budget in the past years? Because for me,
Not in the last years.
in the past few
No.
years.
About 10 years ago, they were like releasing budgets in the
It's
summertime.
getting later.
Mhm.
Okay, so for me, then, based on that, I would say we won't schedule a June meeting, have a regular monthly scheduled June. But we just have to keep in mind that we'll have to have some sort of special.
Right, so that's why we put that bullet point, like May would be the last official regular LSC meeting with the caveat that it will have to schedule a potential special
I would
meeting
assume
in
you do a
June.
poll, like.
Right, because here's the other thing, let's just say the budget comes out earlier than that, like, let's say it comes out late April. And we're not ready, I'm not ready to present it in the June, in the May scheduled meeting, we can even have a meeting at the end of May too, call a special meeting too. So again, it's all dependent on the
Just be
release of budgets,
flexible.
just to be flexible, yeah.
Fine, and then,
Jess, CC, do you guys have any comments on that?
Not about what you were all just talking about, but, I was just wondering what the time is gonna be for these meetings, and also how we can make some of the meetings, if not all the meetings, more accessible to students, to make it sort of more welcoming for students to come in and like read public comment and listen to meetings.
So, like, so
And a really quick add-on to that, it looks like on the Peirce calendar that there's an international night scheduled for the 18th.
November
And so
18th.
just want to flag that conflict, which is also related to student.
So
Yeah.
18,
the 11th is.
that's not a regular, yeah. Unless we decide to move it to another day that week, like on the 19th or the 17th, if anyone's opposed to that.
I'm not opposed to it. So all of these days are on Wednesday, correct?
Correct, that's been the cadence in the past, doing it in the middle of the week, because again, it all depends on the CPS schedule, because a lot of the days off that are scheduled, or professional developments are scheduled, either fall on a Monday, Tuesday, or a Thursday or a Friday,
I think for that November 18th, that Thursday,
Wednesday,
or
that,
mean
November,
well,
19th?
the 19th,
yeah.
like,
The day
yeah, you
after.
have, you're proposing.
right,
the 19th.
because of, right now, it's tentatively, the international night is scheduled, usually we do most of the events like on a Wednesday or Thursday. So, are we okay with the 19th?
I have a question for Steve.
CC, Cole has a question for you.
In your opinion, what would make the meetings more accessible for students? Is it about like time or something else? Like, do you have an idea or proposal for what changes?
I think maybe moving it closer to the end of the school day, so it's not like you have to, you go home and then you come back for this, or you're sitting on the turf for 2 hours waiting for the meeting to start kind of thing. So that
Got
it's like, oh yeah, maybe I can go to this LSC meeting, because I will be at school at 3:30. And
Yeah,
so just like sort of starting a few days closer to the end of the school day. And also, sort of being more public with the date and time to the, students, not just the parents and the community, like putting signs around the school and maybe a public, like a school-wide announcement kind of thing.
So maybe, here's just a suggestion, maybe potentially, I don't know, again, this is all dependent on everyone's schedule too. Maybe a potential change might be doing it at 4 o'clock, because I know like 3:30 is dismissal time,
yeah.
just to allow enough time in between.
I was gonna suggest more of like an alternating schedule, because you also have parents, we need to make sure parents can
Just true.
attend, and their work days typically go
That's
to
true.
till 5, right? So I don't know, CC, if you think that would be a nice compromise, so that we can make sure that there's, opportunities for different, I guess, populations of the community to join. Sometimes parents aren't done with work until 5. So we could do an alternating, right? So you have 1 month, we do it at 4, right after school, and then the next month at 5, and vice versa.
Yeah, that sounds great too.
And I think another thing, just to ensure that student piece too, is that when we're scheduling after-school activities as well, any OST or any other after-school activities, that we try to avoid, like doing them on the Wednesday too as well, like maybe sportings, like, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, so I guess, and so you're not gonna know,
I won't know
And
until
the
the schedules are
schedule,
released.
yeah.
That's the only tricky part with that.
Yeah.
The CPS score schedules haven't been released yet.
I'm curious to know, and maybe Jose can answer this question, whether the public could participate virtually, just like CC is doing. So if we wanted the students to participate and make it more accessible, and CC, if there are students who want to participate in public participation, they would reach out to the LC, we would provide them with a Google link, and they could participate from the comfort of their home or where they are.
yeah, we can definitely set up a
Is that
process for
something
that,
that would
but.
be allowed?
That's allowed, that's a practice at some schools, it's up to the LSC to keep up with that cadence. and working with
So
the school.
in the past, it would be the LSC chair. So there's a Peirce email.
Mhm.
Like, I think a good person to reach out to touch how it's been done in the past would be Matthew Kwame.
Mhm.
Like everyone has access to the Peirce LSC email.
Yeah.
So everyone would receive the email, and that's how questions or anything like Matthew received, that's how you would collect it and everything.
But what I'm suggesting is like in addition to collecting questions to the LSC, the Peirce LSC email for live public
Like a
participation.
sign up. a
That's
virtual
correct,
sign.
virtual.
Yes, that's, we checked the virtual thing as well. Like, that's why we have the owl, the
I
live
see.
chat. It's already, there's a part of the participation piece there already.
And CC, the reason I'm raising this is because 4 o'clock would be very difficult for me. I'm a full-time working person and I travel a lot, so, realistically for me, the 5:30 slot would be the earliest that I would be able to attend. And so I hear you, and I think another alternative would be if we can provide a virtual access for the students to participate. That might work well for working parents, there's teachers who are coming after school, and the students who are participating in any sort of after-school program.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, especially because usually in past LSC meetings, we prioritize like people coming in person, their public comment over those sent through email. So I think having a live thing would sort of put those people more up on the rank.
So
I know.
with the YouTube channel, that way we can share that.
Postponing their comment.
With the YouTube channel, we can share that too, because then they were able to access it. Because there's a chat there where they can put their name.
Yeah,
Like, because Matthew always asks, is there any participation online?
My concern is that I understand that the online participation and even just listening online with the owl has been very difficult.
especially in the auditorium,
And that,
typically, because.
and that people who have tried to use it as a way to access the meetings have mostly just given up because it's so difficult to hear. And so, I'm happy for us to have online solutions, but this has not, I think, been as successful as one would hope. And so I think we're kicking the can on the issue of better participation if we're relying on this system to get us over that hump.
I would like almost propose that we kind of fire off a temporary subcommittee to focus on access and engagement. To reevaluate some of these things, the tooling we're using, the process we're using, just to make it more accessible. I think that'd be a good way to solve it, because it's hard to have these conversations and troubleshooting like in an actual, regular meeting.
Yeah, also without asking the community.
Right.
I wonder also if it's a matter of perception, what Mo was mentioning, like the YouTube is streaming, it feels more like one way, whether the Google Meet, it feels like more being part of the meeting. That could be one, I don't know, it's just a hypothesis.
Yeah, a
Probably
subcommittee
it's
could
not gonna
design a survey.
And
send it out to the
then
community.
also the accessibility too, because what if students can't access it at home either?
Yeah.
What if I mean, I know a lot of people have
Yeah.
technology nowadays, but we have to be also considerate of that, like, that accessibility piece outside of school.
Totally, yeah, I mean, I still like the idea of an alternating time schedule. Are you saying that, so I guess for anybody, not just Roberto, but for anybody to have a meeting at 4 PM, like, is that off the table completely?
I like that idea.
You'd like 4 o'clock?
I like the idea of having an alternating schedule, because it is, there's the working parent issue, there's also the pickup parent issue, which is the other side of that coin, which is I've just been to school to pick up my kid at 3:30 and now you want me to come back at 5:30? It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So,
And different jobs have different schedules.
Right.
Right. I mean, what do you think? Is that
It
like,
would be difficult for me, but, you know, I'm just one vote.
Would you be able to join
Virtual.
virtual?
Well, I could.
That's,
Okay.
so then we can put that as part of the
Okay.
agenda.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
I like
That's-
so we're saying one month, 5:30, 1 month, 4 o'clock? Is that,
I think
Alternate.
is that what
yeah,
we're
yeah,
proposing at
That
this
was
point?
that was been
Yeah.
the regular
Yeah.
5:30 cadence, just to, I think part of it too was parents getting out like 5 o'clock, just to give them that ability to be able to join and participate.
Yeah.
Or if they're picking up kids from after school as well, I think there's all those factors at play.
different populations,
Mhm.
yeah, I think it gives everybody a.
So do we wanna decide on those, when we wanna start that alternation? Like, do we wanna do that with the
Right.
first meeting, or do we wanna do that?
Yeah, I guess, I guess I'll
I would propose that we consider the September meeting at 4 o'clock, given that it's like the first one during the school year. As a way to kind of like welcome folks back, and if we have re-othered it, it would be, September, November, January, March would be good for.
So, I like that idea. The only question I guess I would have is the teachers have that PD week, the August meeting. So is a 5 o'clock or a 5:30 meeting that week doable for you guys? I don't know what your schedule is during that week, if it's just like normal school hours or what, just trying to be mindful.
It is normal school hours, so I'm
Okay.
to be fair to both of you. How do you
That
see
week,
it?
I'm here till you kick us out. I'm getting the school, the class ready.
Yes.
I mean, to be honest, I'm getting the class ready, so.
Okay. So start with 5:30 at the first August meeting and then alternate from there. It's
Can
kind
I
of-
make I'm sorry, just,
No,
just thinking about the after, what time does the school end for students here?
3:30.
3:30. Cece, just thinking about like if students have to choose between participating in after-school programs, do you think 4:30 would be better? So that way some of those students could participate in those programs and then leave and get here to 4:30, or do you want to stick to 4 o'clock? I just want to make sure we're not interfering with anything that's going on after school.
I mean, I'm not really sure about that. I think it is really important, and after-school activities are very important for students, and I don't think a lot would choose an LSC meeting over their after-school activity. But that sort of depends on what Mr. Avila thinks, and like schedule-wise, if there's a way you could like, I guess, sort of cancel all the after-school activities on an LSC meeting day, which is kind of crazy, but.
No, I mean, I think that's fair, because then we can alternate the schedule, like, on that one week, we can have it, like, okay, let's say there's practice, right? We can like
Yeah.
say, okay, instead of the Wednesday that week, because it's LT meeting day at 4 o'clock, we can just do it, the practice on a different day. That would be
Yeah,
something
because I
I would
think
like to talk to.
Last year too, during the principal forum, which was sort of like a really big moment for our school, I was like one of the only students there. But it was mostly because when I asked my friends, I was like, oh, you going to the principal forum after school day? They were like, no, I have such and such practice, I can't go.
Right.
And it was like school sports, so I think that was sort of an issue where those sports weren't canceled, so kids had stuff they had to do, like other commitments, and therefore couldn't be at the forum, which would have been like
Gotcha.
a great opportunity.
Yeah, so Cece, that's why I'm asking if you think 4:30 would balance that schedule out, or we could
Well,
just keep it at 4?
What she's requesting is like on weeks of LSC meetings that there's like a different day that there's no practice happening on the LSC meeting days, which I think we could arrange. That's-
Yeah, and that's also only 4 days throughout. the
Yeah,
school, so I don't think it's that big.
Exactly.
Okay.
I
What
would
do you mean,
be,
don't we play sports all year long?
yeah, so we
So
can.
would
Oh,
be.
Lamont's in the window. Wow.
That's a first. We didn't hear the bell. We didn't hear-
Man, it feels like we're honing in on like some alternating times, which I think is great. And then I just want to bring back into the conversation appreciation, Cece, for you raising this.
Yes.
And I think it was Lizzie, I can't see like in that corner, but I think it was Lizzie that suggested like maybe thinking through how we reach out, and Carla, I think you were talking about this too, how we reach out to the community to say like, how can we be more accessible? What would you like, just maybe asking some questions of folks to understand like how folks can feel more involved, who want to feel involved, but also that we're not like fully disrupting other activities for other folks, like how we're striking the balance here. So really appreciate that, and maybe there's like a next step in terms of some of that exploratory work, but would love to lock in dates and times to the extent that we can here now.
Sorry, Lamont.
And
So, hey Lamont, how are you?
Hello.
Happy summer. We were just discussing the scheduling for LSC meetings, like we're trying to involve that cadence, but one thing that has been brought up has been the timing, CC brought up, having students be able to be participants for LSC meetings. So one thing we're proposing is alternating meeting dates and times. So like 1 month it'll be 5:30, but then the next month will be 4 o'clock. How do you feel about that? I know, because I know it will want to be.
You would be able to call in virtually.
Yes.
On the 4 o'clock, if that's.
On Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not all of the Wednesdays,
Not all.
just every other.
just,
Before Wednesday of the year.
So September, November, January, March.
So we did make some adjustments to those dates because we were looking at the calendar overall. So for November, it would actually be November 19th, and for April, it would be April 14th.
how does that work for the teachers?
Teachers?
I mean, if I'm here, at 3:30, I'm here till 4 o'clock, I'm here till 5:30, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? And last year we were shut down but other people who have jobs that they can't leave,
Right.
that's a different situation to me. And when I don't agree with canceling any kind of sports practices or any after-school activities for an LSC meeting, because I think we have 1,000 kids in the school,
Right.
and I bet if 5 kids come, we're gonna cancel all after-school activities for 5 kids that wanna come. So that's just my opinion, coming from a household where everybody plays sports. I think your participation on your team is the most important thing, and, that's just my opinion, but I know that for working folk, it's, that's an important thing to consider. I was thinking about you when they were saying this 4 o'clock, I would imagine you would not be able to make it 4 o'clock.
It might be tight, but my question would be for the majority of the people or the parents that typically would like to attend the meetings. I mean, we have our frequent flyers. I'm not aware of their work schedules, especially committee chair people who want to attend the meetings. But I know it's not a tall ask to have every other meeting. So it's a good compromise. I'm just voicing my respect for those who are commuting, who are no longer working from home. Or have that option. But I guess since it's on the schedule, it'll be easier to schedule it out if they really would like to participate or can do it virtually as well.
Yeah, and we talked about making kind of the virtual process and experience a little bit more accessible. And, right now it's sometimes hard to hear or, whatever. So making sure that they can engage virtually.
Okay.
Did we usually have a meeting in December? I don't remember having a meeting in December.
Sometimes we'll.
Yeah, we did. I mean, considering this was a record year of meetings,
Right.
system-wide for us in particular, since we were hovering about 80% above normal meeting rate, due to extenuating circumstances.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but yes, we did have a meeting right before break.
Yeah. I went to the calendar, like Mr. Peirce, I went to the calendar, and we did that.
I mean, previous school, I was on an LSC, we would skip sometimes either December or January, just because, right, you're like out for 2 weeks, so there's not like a ton to talk about before and right after, but, I think.
I mean, I know November and December are like that, especially November with all the days off, with that Thanksgiving and everything, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe we can just go with the alternating, not plan to cancel all after school, but make sure that staff are aware that students who want to attend an LSC meeting, like Cece said, they were told like they can't, but like maybe just to encourage that, like, staff leading OS, after-school programs can make sure that students who want to attend can attend. And then we establish a subcommittee to look further into access issues and like see how it goes from there.
I don't agree with that either, but because I think if you make it a commitment to a team, you need to be there for the team. So if you have practice until 4:30, you can come to the meeting at 5 o'clock. That's just my
Also, as a
opinion.
parent, like as a parent, I would, if I'm relying on the team practice, like my week is set up and I know they have practice till this time and then I pick them up and then I have to make alternates, like then how is that to the other, you know, and like my boys play varsity sports. If I know that there's practice and I can stay at the LSC meeting, if you cancel the practice, then it's like, gotta go back.
I wouldn't say cancel the practice. I think don't cancel the practice, like allow them to attend if they want and like obviously have, you know, they would need permission from their parents about when they're getting picked up, but allow them if they want to attend and like that works for their schedule, that they won't be prohibited by like staff from attending.
If I may, if I understand you correctly, like if there's a student athlete
Yeah.
who wants to attend an LSC and
Specific
participate
meeting, yeah.
to public participation because they want to share something.
Yeah.
That they should not be penalized by the coach or the team for deciding that today I'm not going to attend practice. I'm going to attend the LSC meeting. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
I don't, but that's fine. I don't agree with that, but, because I think you make a commitment to the team, but that's just my perspective as.
Many commitments, including to the school and one practice out of however many.
What if it's a game day? I know we don't have enough players.
Okay, but that's not what we're discussing, so.
Well, but that could possibly come up. You could be on a game day.
Sorry, like, there's a lot of discussion, or like, you guys should be making motions for votes to advance discussion. What you call it, someone brought up the idea of a committee to look at the nuances of this. So if you guys create a scheduled cadence, and then in your next meeting, you created a committee that could meet whenever they were available.
Yep.
The committee can inform the LSC of any, future dates need to be changed because of sports, because of other circumstances. And they can work with your technology, engagement with the public too.
Yeah, I agree. I think we can add that to the August agenda to form a committee. Everybody good with that?
Second.
I second that, motioning to, putting this, alternate schedule up for vote.
Yeah, I wanted to get any date changes and get the times that we roughly agree on established and do kind of one vote. So right now, the schedule would be, we would modify November 18th to be on November 19th. That's to avoid International Night, which is currently scheduled the 18th. And April 21st would move to April 14th, the week prior, to avoid Passover, which starts at sundown on the 21st. And timing wise, we're proposing, starting with the August meeting, we would meet at 5:30. And then September at 4 p.m., October 5:30, November 4 p.m., December 5:30, January 4 p.m., February 5:30, March 4 p.m., April 5:30, May 4 p.m. So motion to approve this schedule for the year as is with the plan to add an agenda item for August to form a subcommittee for accessibility.
Second.
Roll call. Avila, yes.
Yes.
Fabianski, yes.
Miller, yes?
Papadopoulos, yes.
Rosales, yes.
Roberto, yes.
Burton, yes.
Lynn, yes.
Jess and Cece, did you hear all of the date changes, the time proposals, and if not, we can clarify, otherwise we're looking for your vote.
Yeah, I'm good, yes. I'll say yes, thank you.
Great. Okay, let's schedule, adopt board structure and rules. Okay. Yeah, bylaws,
which you guys have copies of in the packets.
yes,
So-
so, hoping to avoid us all having to read through these, I guess, is there anything in the past few years that the LSC has amended about kind of standard bylaws that we should be aware of? Do we want to take the 10 minutes for everybody to read over it? Make sure
Could
that,
you send that?
Yes.
I
I
can
think
do
it
that.
was,
I can do that, Chrissy.
I think it's in the email too that I sent. It has all the documented, it's in the principal's report.
Okay.
It has the link. The bylaws.
why don't we take 5 minutes? Everybody look over.
Green and red car.
Cece, were you able to find them?
Yeah, just send them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, it's been 5 minutes. Do people need additional time? Everybody ready to? I just want to open it up for a little bit of discussion. There's obviously a few other roles that we can choose to fill. I think we can do that at a different time if we decide that it become necessary. So I just want to acknowledge that. One question I had, so right now the bylaws specify 2 10-minute public participation periods per meeting. Typically we've had one like towards the beginning of the meeting, one towards the end. And it does call out 2 minutes per participant. Everybody good with keeping those rules? I think those work well, but I want to make sure everybody's aware of that and good. Okay. And then the only other thing really is.
That was actually what we added. The 2-minute rule, due to a lot of comments that came from the emails in, so those are restricted as well, and a lot of that was derivative of the whole bulletin board thing. Yeah, that's what came from that.
Does it say that emails will be read out loud? Sorry, it's a lot of text, like, and if not, should we add that to note that people who email in comments, if there's a time or whatever?
I guess my thought on that, Cole, is just that we can change the bylaws at any time, right? So my thought is let's form this committee.
Okay.
Give some thought to like the right way to go about that, and then we could always amend it, like later, rather than trying to make a decision right now on, is that fair?
Are you proposing to do a subcommittee on that specific section? Is that what you're saying?
No.
No, not in the bylaws. We can establish any subcommittee, even if it's not in the bylaws. I'm just proposing we establish a subcommittee, have conversation around all of the accessibility questions and things like that. And then if we need to amend the bylaws to support that, we can do that at any time.
Got it.
So a couple things. If we get public comments by email, and as long as they're not confidential or in any way that's detrimental to the school or to any one of us, I think they have to be made public. So they either have to be put on the Peirce LSC share drive.
That's where they typically go.
Okay, so that is the process? So, okay.
So we get them ahead of time. Some people might email during our meeting. Matthew would check previously. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we get them. More often than not, we won't have them. They get posted and we try to get them in before and share it to everyone before we get to the meeting.
So yeah, Matthew did mention that to me, like he was always checking email up to the the hour of a meeting to make sure he didn't receive anything.
Yeah, because I think if they're confidential, unless they're confidential or sensitive in nature, they have to be made public.
Yeah,
And
public
posted in
comment.
the share drive. And then I would just suggest if anyone is adamant about, they can't attend in person, but they have explicitly or directly asked us to read their comments, I think we should honor that request.
The thing is with that, and I'm just gonna give you some quick feedback, so what happens is people in the meeting versus people who are outside of the meeting, what people were doing were writing extenuating, like long emails, and then when it became public comment that there was no time left. So if 4 people are not here or 5 people will say, hey, I demand my email be read in front of everyone. And it's,
It was
No.
sometimes it was a 6-minute email.
yeah,
Where it was taking 6 minutes to read the email.
We,
And to me, that doesn't seem fair.
no, that's
So
not fair.
you don't get 6 minutes because you wrote something.
Right,
And if people that came here only get 2, people that wrote something only get 2.
Well, I think
Well-
that was the workaround, right? That was
Yeah.
the way to get more airtime.
correct.
Jess, you have your hand up?
we can establish a, word count limit
Well, I would
that
say,
would correspond with.
yeah, so I would say like the 2-minute rule applies whether you email or you're in person.
That's
guess-
what we're doing.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because there were there were emails that were like 3 or 4 pages long.
Mhm.
Okay, and so how did the LSC respond if someone was really adamant about, I want you to read this, like
Oh, it
what
was read.
was the
We read
response?
it.
Oh,
It was read.
I just want to ask really quickly if we're figuring this out now, or if this is a subcommittee conversation.
I think it can be part of the accessibility, it can definitely be part of that conversation, yeah, I agree.
Can I ask a clarification?
Mhm.
Roberto, is I was wondering if the question on your suggestion is like, how might we make sure we are being like, very truthful to what the community is saying or asking?
that's correct. Yeah.
So that's the real question. Whether we decide to implement the 2-minute rule or a way to have people having access to the full, community opinion or so on, the question that you're asking that LSC considers, is like, how can we keep truthful to the community without having an interpretation of their opinion or questions or so on?
Right, or at least making sure that the public is aware, like this person wanted to share their comments or perspectives on a particular item.
Just wanted to emphasize that.
I think for the first meeting, we can just establish that if you send an email ahead of the August meeting, right, we will read it for 2 minutes. And if it cuts off in the middle of the email, like, that's just gonna have to
Like, have that
be
general statement.
how it goes. But I think the subcommittee could think, right, we could create a Google form that has a word count limit to limit the amount
It's
of.
basically saying the bylaws, so you can even use the language of the bylaws.
Right,
It's like, you know, you have a limit of 2
Exactly.
minutes, whether you're speaking in public participation or
Right.
through email, you know, written form, you have a limit of 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Good, say we do.
What, I'm not ready to vote, I do have a couple things.
Sure.
So 3 things. In the standing committees, I just don't understand why the Bilingual Advisory Council is a committee of the LSC. My understanding is there's a rule, and I can't remember the rule, but if it's certain X number of students, then the school must or is required to have a bilingual advisory council, but it's not necessarily part of the LSC.
That's district policy with the,
Right, so
no, I guess it is a subcommittee of the LSC.
oh, it is a
Yes.
subcommittee of the LSC. Okay, so then the second item is, we've been talking about this accessibility committee.
Mhm.
I mean, if we're looking at this bylaw, I want to make a motion just to create that committee now.
Well, so when you create a subcommittee, it doesn't have to, as in my understanding is it doesn't have to be part of the bylaws, right? Because you can create like a temporary subcommittee. We can choose for it to be a permanent subcommittee and we can always add it to the bylaws later if we feel strongly that it should always be formed, right? But it doesn't have to be part of this to establish it at any time.
You also need to have it on the agenda as a vote that you'll be creating a
Right.
subcommittee.
Okay,
It's not today's
Yeah.
agenda, unfortunately.
okay. So what are we voting on this bylaw then?
Just to make sure everybody's in agreement with the content that's there as it is now. So if there's any like minor adjustments, for sure, one thing we need to amend is the chairperson and secretary listed are still
Right.
Matthew and Rocky from last year, right? So we need to amend that, the date that they were amended. But it sounds like other than that, we are good with.
Wait, so we can't make, edits to this bylaw?
Not until you have it cleared by legal. So if you want to do edits to the bylaws, then you also have to vote on the edits, an agreement with the edits, and then legal has to clear it before it can be implemented.
Okay, so one of the things that I really want to raise is that I didn't see anything in the bylaws where it requires, LSC members to produce documents or reports within 48 hours. And I want to make sure that language is in this, because what I want to avoid is getting any sort of documents or reports the night before the LSC where I don't have that time to review it, and then we're not being productive with the time at the LSC meetings. So I think it would be important for this LSC to adopt language that requires any reports or documents to be produced to the LSC within 48 hours or 48 hours before the LSC meeting.
So you're proposing that Mr. Avila have to produce like the principal report and things that we're gonna review in the meeting, so basically in the same time frame the agenda has to be
That is
posted?
correct.
Is that a requirement, or is that, I don't think so. The agenda has to be posted 48 hours.
That's in there.
Yeah, right, the agenda needs to be posted to the public 48 hours
Right.
in advance. It's not a set and fast requirement to have documents ahead of time. It's obviously a good practice to get it as early as possible. If it's not possible, having a set and hard rule, could be conflicting, but, yeah, it's not a rule right now because of that needed flexibility right now.
That would be my proposal.
Yeah, I just
to
wanted
have
to
that
establish
48
if it was
hours.
like a requirement or, yeah, so how do other people feel about that?
Just to give
I
some
would
context.
love to proceed with that as like a recommendation if it feels feasible and reasonable to folks before we do any like bylaws. Like I would like to, if that's a request, which I think sounds great, I think we should request it, but I don't want to move to like automatically entering it into bylaws immediately.
Yeah, and we don't have to, you can raise it now, we could add it to the August agenda if we want to take a vote on it to amend it. So I guess, in that line, this falls a lot on you because you have to produce most of the material.
Well, I was gonna just speak in the past, like, at least in my first year, what I've done, like, between 24, 48 hours is what I've usually given, like, a report to the LSC members. Like, because I asked them, like, when I started, like, is there, like, you guys, Matthew,
Yeah,
like, what's, like, the usual timeline? He usually told me between 24, 48 hours.
is that acceptable, or you're kind of firm on the?
I think
needs to be at
48
least 2
hours would
days?
be, like, if we want to put language like 24 to 48 hours, I think that's great. And just to highlight something, in the standing committees, it requires that reports be received no less than 5 business days prior to the next regular scheduled LSC meeting. So I think that should apply to all LSC
So
members.
that was, I can speak to the history on that. When, years ago, my previous term, we were getting like committee reports, like let's say the meeting was at 6 o'clock, we were getting them at 5:50. And as the teachers, we were the ones reading them out. So that was when we kept pushing it to have the, days before. That's where that came from.
And I think that's a great practice. And I think 24 to 48 hours for any member to produce a report, whether it's the principal report, I think that's great. I appreciated getting the documents on Monday because I was able to review those documents and prepare for today.
Yeah, and I think just to establish you, and I think we could totally vote on that if we feel it's appropriate to put that in the bylaws, in the August meeting. I would also, just make sure that for those participating virtually on the council, right, that they also have access to the same materials. That was something I ran into a lot in my previous school is, they just wouldn't be provided if you joined virtually, which is not very,
The principals you were working with?
yeah, any documentation, right?
Yeah,
So like
like,
this packet.
Because I sent it digitally,
Yeah.
and I mean, I guess this is another question I have for everyone else, because I used to print everything. I know
Yeah.
it's a lot of paper, but I used to just print everything. for
Yeah, and I mean,
every
I guess if you're gonna send it
Yeah.
ahead of time, right, it makes.
I send it,
all
and then I print
digitally,
it.
So,
I
yeah,
have it printed too.
Yeah.
So I do both.
And I think that's great.
okay, so,
We'll put that for the August.
well, yeah, I guess we're gonna have to chat a little bit about how you wanna send me stuff, since I guess I'll be responsible for putting together the agenda with Ms. Wavila, so, I'll make a note of it. August. And then, Jose, I guess question for you, because we need to amend just like the stated officers on? Can we vote on that today since it's pretty straightforward?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the vote on the bylaws.
Yeah.
You want to vote on it with that change?
Yeah, okay, great.
Can I make a note on a change on the bylaws? It's a small comment, but it says, while LSC meetings are being held virtually, Zoom chat will be open during public participation. We don't use Zoom chat,
Oh,
so.
we don't have to specify tooling. I think we could, just.
Yeah, but since a lawyer has to review it, let's just like.
Well,
clarify the language.
do they need to, like,
I'm
we.
sorry, what was the question?
It says that Zoom chat will be open during public participation. Zoom chat is referring a particular tool. So we can leave it
We don't
like
use
broad,
Zoom,
We
right?
use Zoom, and it says that we're using Zoom in the bylaws. I'm just asking to be more specific.
Okay.
Is it fine to just cross that
If you want
word?
to make that change, you can include that in your vote, yeah.
Great. And then who physically makes the changes to the bylaws and provides a new copy?
Yeah, it's usually the chair and the principal. Together.
Okay, well, we'll have to share the file if you want.
Yep, I can share it with you.
All right, where is that, Carla?
That will be in section 6, in the last paragraph,
In meetings.
in meeting
Page five.
Page 5.
Got it. Striking Zoom. Okay. I'll just, let's change Zoom chat to, I don't know, virtual meeting will be open. Is that fine?
Is it specifically that we want the chat open, to allow people to like chat right there?
We just need to delete Zoom.
So just delete Zoom?
Yeah, because it's not Zoom.
Virtual meeting chat.
Yeah.
There. Okay, so.
Can I propose one other change?
I don't agree with having the chat open during it, because historically, in the past, there have been issues with having the chat open, where things were put in the chat, like names or certain instances weren't appropriate. So I don't think the chat should be open the whole time.
I think that's an OMA.
Right, but what I'm saying historically is in the chat, people were said about certain things and they put they'll put a teacher's name in or a staff member's name in. The name is already out there. So I'm saying like in the past, we did have some instances in the chat where some unpleasant things happened while we were online. Some very unpleasant.
So how do you, well, okay, I mean, I understand what you're saying, I'm just wondering how I don't wanna require people who wanna give virtual public comment to submit that ahead of the meeting, right? Because people who join in person have the opportunity to speak in the meeting. So I guess would the alternative would be, so for people who are participating in public comment, they have to have a way to sign up, right?
Absolutely.
To speak. Or we're gonna require them to do that ahead of the meeting?
No, or, I mean, I know that we're gonna read emails as they come in, right? So, I mean, I know we don't have to decide everything right now, but maybe there's a creative way where we're monitoring the emails and a virtual participation lock. I just feel strongly because having served before, there were some egregious things that happen, and as a community, I'd like to protect us from that happening again.
Yeah, understandable.
creating devices.
I guess my point is just, right, if somebody's gonna speak verbally, they could say the same thing.
Yes, they can, but you can cut them off. I mean, like if someone's, you know,
Yeah,
I just think that there's certain things that it's like once the jury, like there's certain things that are put in there and it's not good. And it has historically happened up here, so my hesitant is that this could happen again. And we closed the chat off to that. But I do agree with you, absolutely. Every voice should be heard. So I think that we have to be creative in like, we're gonna read the emails coming. Okay, so could someone be monitoring like an online form that you sign up to public participation? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
I think it maybe depends on what tool we end up using.
It'll be Google
Yeah.
Meet.
Okay, because I'm not that familiar with it, so on other things, you can lock down who messages can go to, so it doesn't message
Right.
everyone.
But it's still out there. That's
Google
the
Meet
thing.
would
It's
be-
still there.
But only
Yeah,
one
but if it's
person
not
would see it.
publicly
How is that different from an
visible,
email?
It's not, yeah, it wouldn't be different.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
wouldn't be on the, like, the channel right now, the Peirce channel, it wouldn't be there. We would have it on the Google Meet.
So then
channel, yeah.
who is monitoring that? Maybe.
So that's what we would. have to
Whomever is
decide.
monitoring.
We would
But
have to decide who's gonna monitor.
Okay, but, so I just wanna play a little devil's advocate here. Who the person is monitoring that, what if they think that something is appropriate, but I don't think something is
I mean,
appropriate?
I think we just have to have a stance that like, right, calling out any teacher's names specifically, in a derogatory way, right? Mentioning a student name, obviously those things are
Parent name.
unacceptable, sure, yeah, any,
But it's internal business.
I'm sorry, Chair, can I correct you?
of course, yeah.
I'm sorry, cut you off. Just that, these also, seem to fall under meeting guidelines and norms that you can set, that you might be forming a committee for soon.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry, that you guys were, on the agenda, we're voting on renewing your bylaws. If you are going to amend those bylaws,
Right.
you do need to have the exact language and share it with the public 7 days ahead of time, and the council members of 7 days ahead of time, and have it cleared by the law department already within that time. So, you can't make amendments today. You can choose to renew the current standing bylaws or not. But you guys can decide a lot of this programming to go into your general meeting norms that you guys will be facilitating for the public.
Okay, so maybe we nix the Zoom word change for today. If people want to discuss that on the next agenda, like, reach out and we can.
And we can even put it into some more too, like, when we're sharing the agenda too. They can reach out to the Peirce email, the Peirce LSC email.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
I think that's probably the best way.
I mean, we have to form the agenda, right? So it's more referring to like if council members want to propose specific amendments.
Oh, gotcha. I'm
That
sorry.
we could vote on it at the next meeting. That gives you the month to like reach out to legal, to get approval, just, is
Okay,
this even
gotcha.
something we could amend with? And then we can vote on it at the next meeting. So just let one of us know ahead of the next meeting if it's something you want to vote on and what the specific language is that you are proposing.
All right, just to move this along, I make a motion to table this.
I mean, I'm gonna make a motion to amend the bylaws as is, including updating the chairperson and secretary names and the date, as today, right, that they have been amended at the end of the document. What is today? July 8th.
But I think if you make that amendment, you're adopting these bylaws.
Correct.
Correct.
But then we can't amend.
I make a motion to amend. Do I have a second? Or a motion to table this?
Well, we can't table with the previous LSC's chairperson and secretary. The only thing we are changing with this vote is the name of the chairperson, the name of the secretary, and the date which those names were changed, which would be today. That doesn't need to go through legal, that's just,
Housekeeping.
right.
That's a separate vote than adopting the bylaws?
It's part of the vote, to adopt the bylaws as is with the amendments to the names of the chair and secretary.
And you don't actually, I don't think you need the names of the amendments. I think you guys can just vote to adopt the bylaw. And then you'll be updating it for the school year.
Okay, great. Motion to adopt the bylaws. Okay, roll call.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Can I pass? Does that mess
You
things up?
can say abstain or no.
Abstain. I'm confused. I'm abstaining too.
Abstain.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Jess, Cece?
Yes. Yes.
So we have majority. I just want you guys to understand too, like, these can be amended at any time, right? It's just, there's a process you have to follow in order to propose the amendments you want to make. They need to go through legal first, right? So like, we just can't actually change anything material today. Okay. All right, great. Then, well, we've got, let's see how my Spanish is doing here. Like, we're
There's
just
some English ones.
I know, I'm just like, I lost it. Okay, fine.
We just put both of them there.
Okay, so we got schedule, we got bylaw adoption. Okay, new business. So, Do you have a principal's report?
Yeah,
For
it's in
today?
there. I sure did. I promise it's not like the 30 minutes I was time last year. I went over a lot.
I do, this isn't on the agenda, but we have to fill out the forms that you sent.
The statement of economic interest forms, yeah.
Correct. I personally did not fill that out online, so I think we have to fill out a paper version at this meeting, is that not?
I think it's, Jose, it's all electronic, right? The statement of economic interest form?
Oh, it's all,
It's all electronic.
so I'll just do that. I'll just do that while you're giving your report. I'll do that.
And mine is very brief. So just to give, like, this is just a snippet because usually, and Fab, Sonia, Lamont, you guys are familiar with like my reports. I try to cover all the domains, you know, and school leadership, within the school leadership framework, but also cover like all the updates, whether it's from students or families or community or parent or teachers. So this is just a quick summer update of things that have been happening. So EL summer programming, with the funding that we received from the state, we were able to have like a small EL summer program at the end of the year. It was really successful. It was a cohort of 40 students that are in EL programs, thanks to the help of our wonderful ELPT, Mr. Josh Lerner. And we also had several of our teachers, Ms. Lovato, Ms. Lopez Hello, and I'm drawing a blank. Kurtovic, thank you. They were here helping to assist, as well as Ms. Delgado. Who were the other two, Danielle? I'm drawing a blank right now.
I feel like 3 years ago.
Ms. Delgado, I know. Ms. Delgado, Ms. Campos, and Ms. Cantero. So we had a total of 6 staff members here who they were able to really like work with kids on EL, you know, EL building skills. Like it was really built to be more personalized learning for them. So it helped strengthen their language development, their academic skills, and their confidence, as well as the social emotional growth. We made the theme of like the World Cup for the programming in honor of the world. Like we literally started like right around the World Cup was starting. So kids really had a blast. They even had a little mascot too and everything. So thank you to everyone who contributed to that. Summer construction updates. So we have summer constructions going on in the building, in the older side of the building. On the 3rd floor, the bathrooms in the 7th, 8th grade wing are completely being renovated. So that started the day after school ended on June 5th. They started construction work. They did the asbestos testing and everything. So now they're like, you know, tearing down things and taking out the old fixtures, everything in the bathroom. So you see that's the most current picture of one of the bathrooms right now. So the work is anticipated to be completed by early August, with the caveat that we'll be able to finish the summer cleaning then in those last 2 weeks before teachers are scheduled to come back. Staffing updates. I did want to announce that one of our sped teachers, Ms. Meredith O'Malley, has resigned from CPS. She'll be exploring other opportunities outside of CPS. Her resignation does not result in a teacher vacancy, as I shared in the previous LSC, the special meeting, because of the budget cuts for special education, that there's no vacancy to cover, because since she's leaving, there's one less cut then.
What grade was?
Pre-K. So we're working with HR to see who is certified to slot that person into that position and everything. So that's
within your school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because it's not a teacher vacancy, because we're losing 4 sped teacher vacancies, which I wrote there, we cannot appeal until the 20th day of school. So with that, we have to provide our schedule. Like we've already tried appealing already, and they said, no, we have to wait till the 20th day. So we have to provide justification that we are in need of extra special education teachers, as well as special education classroom assistants. Playworks update. So I did announce this in the last LC meeting. So FOP did approve funds to move forward to have Playworks back in Peirce. So we will get the full implementation program. Ms. Peirce and I met with them yesterday, you know, to get the ball rolling. So staff development, staff training will begin on August 20th. They're going to do a brief presentation to the entire staff and then work with our recess staff and other TAs and SECAs as well that go out to recess to provide them training. He will also be here for the back to school bash. Mark your calendars, August 20th from 3 to 5 o'clock. So they'll be here as well.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Can you give me more details of what is PlayWorks?
Yeah, so PlayWorks is basically structured recess. So I presented it to the LSC last year where they're a program that comes in, they evaluate your recess program. They ask basically what the school's needs are, what have you seen historically from your recess, what are your needs? So they provide training to those staff members who are outside for recess. Like I can give an example, like group management training, like play management training, indoor recess training. So those are trainings that happen throughout the year. So the first general one will be group management training for step 1 for the PlayWorks. And in addition, we get an on-site coordinator on a monthly basis. So that on-site coordinator is here for an entire week, 5 days, for 5 days, and they come every 4 weeks. So they help evaluate in conjunction with one of our designated employees, how the state of recess is going, making sure that we're training our staff, to handle any conflict resolution issues that might be happening during recess. Based on the conversations that I've had with many staff, with many students, with parents as well, there's been a lot of concerns being brought up about recess. So we want to make sure that we have things that are more structured play, but we also want to respect students' autonomy as well. So there is going to be room for pre-play or for students to have that autonomy to to be able to talk during recess and everything, but there will be also structured play, structures set in place for recess. So we're hoping that this helps build that a structured recess it's more structured, more organized, and it leads to less conflict during recess as well.
Thank you.
Summer cleaning updates, so I can update you where we're at. The pre-K branch is completely done they've already done all the cleaning. They started again right after the year ended. Branch is done. The dirt floor on the new building is done since the old construction's happening on the old side of the building. They haven't been able to work in those classrooms. Once the construction's finished, they will work on that piece of the building. The second floors is completely done. The only thing that's not done is the hallway. Right now, they have all the teacher materials, supplies outside of the classrooms, the furniture. The wax was just applied this week. But they said they completed deep cleaning those areas. They're just waiting for the wax to dry. So the second floor is completely done. So they're already beginning the process of moving to the first floor of the building, including the main office as well. I've also attached the facilities monthly work order report as part of the new CTU contract. I'm supposed to monthly share this with staff, any work order reports. So I'm sharing this also with the LSC as well. So I actually just received the facilities monthly work order report yesterday. We've also, during the summer, we're notified that we're up for a wireless upgrade during the summer. So that actually did start this week as well. So all that piping that you see and everything is part of the wireless upgrade. So this is going to be great for the school to help build that connectivity, reliability, overall performance within the school building, to ensure there's no dead spots in the building and everything. So we're very happy about that we were able to get that upgrade. Happy to report too that our website, it's almost in the final stages of being developed as approved by the previous LSC. We are moving to educational networks. This is a way to shore up communication with our families and with students as well. It'll be more personalized where teachers can have their own page as well on the website, put any links, resources, so they're accessible to all students and parents at any time, or even if you want to find another ways of communicating to parents, there's a way to communicate through the website as well. In addition to it, there's going to be an SMS text messaging feature that parents can sign up to receive alerts and comments of anything that might be, for example, if there's a school closing, for example, if the school closes, because of weather, we'll be able to send that to the text SMS messaging system to the website. So I think that was one thing that was brought up and everything. Yes.
I have a question. So
yeah, that's okay.
The website was already approved, you mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
By May, yes.
I was gonna ask, I reviewed the website and there's a lot of acronyms which cannot be very accessible for, especially for new parents that are just learning
Mhm.
the ways of the school. So that's not necessarily accessible. So I was curious about what were like the accessibility specific guidance that they have used, if they are following mostly navigation, WACG, A, or AA, AAA, also available for screen readers. And I also was wondering if they actually compare the previous navigation with the new structure to make sure that there was an improvement on it.
So I mean, it is up to the, like, this is like more of a lot of the CPS schools are using the educational network system already, because the old website that we had, I believe, was Weebly. Like, it was not even like, we didn't have it, like, it was like run by us.
But would the school be open that I give some commentary on the website? Because for example, there was a green color that I haven't measured with tools, but I'm pretty sure the contrast with the green color and the blue is not accessible as for somebody that has low eyesight.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good point.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're going to publish it, but I mean, if any commentary, like, again, right now, this is just a mock-up from them as well. Like, we also gave them our commentary as
Sure.
well, like, because they're building the website for us.
I just thought that the earlier these comments go, the better. That's why.
No, for sure, I appreciate that. So yes, like if the LSC has any comments they would like to share, please feel free to email me so I can forward those comments to the developer as well.
Okay, cool.
Is the, Principal Avila, is the messaging just school-wide? It's not like message to, like, teachers can't be messaged?
The messaging, the text messaging is more for, the parents.
But can the parents text message the teachers?
No.
Oh.
No, it's the web, it's
Right.
notifications.
Okay,
It's not,
that's-
it's,
okay.
yeah, it's notification. It's not, no, it's not that at all. It, like, the only thing on the teacher side of it is like, if you wanna, send an email, like, through the website, the teacher will receive it, because every teacher's gonna receive an account, and they're gonna get to, like, build their page, like, design their, like, if they wanna have links to, like, the syllabi, or, this is the assignments for week 1, 2, so on and so forth, or newsletters too. That would be the ability, to share that. If, like, so obviously, like, I know, like, for example, you send out the newsletter to your parents, but if you wanted to, like, store it there, for any, if your parent to reference it instead of going through their emails, that's another way for them to go back and reference that as well.
Thank you.
Cece, did you have a question?
I'm just wondering if you could repeat what Carla said.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Can you please repeat what Carla was saying?
You wanna repeat what you said? Yeah.
Sure, I was just trying to get more information on the how we are ensuring the improvement navigation compared to the previous website, and the different structure of accessibility, whether they are being compliant with the ADA or like WACG, and what level. There are 3 levels, A, AA, and AAA. So I wanted to get more details on that.
Okay, thank you so much.
So yeah, so that's where we're at with the website. So website's gonna be scheduled for release sometime before the end of the summer, so we can launch it. I have an update on the leasing agreements, which I did put down as items needing council approval. We did receive initial information about Apollo. I didn't feature the contract here too in your pile, where it has the details, of the percentage that we would be receiving as a school. I have not yet received anything from the YMCA. When I reached out to them, they mentioned they have to wait until after July 1st to process any new contracts. So what I'm proposing is that we table the leasing agreement until the next meeting on August 19th. The vendors are also supposed to go through Facilitron now as well, when they're doing their status to be a vendor at the school site now. So Apollo has completed that process. That's why they have shared their contract. The YMCA is going through that online process still of making sure that they're gonna be a vendor at the school site. So like, they ask some questions like, what is your role at the school? What percentage are you gonna be giving to the school? What are the times and the dates? What is the time frame you're going to be at the school? So they, as a vendor, have to do that under, and it's not the school that does it. what we do is we agree on the contract. So I reached out to Apollo and Y back in March already to start setting this up already. But the Y mentioned to me they can't do anything until after July 1st, and they also went through some leadership change as well.
Okay,
So that's why there's a reason for that.
yeah,
that they didn't
so
see
there's
anything.
there's two items, you know.
Right, I
So
was
you're
hoping,
proposing we can push those to the next meeting.
I mean, we can vote on the Apollo one if you like, if you wanna review it, but with the Y is the one that I have not received the language from them as well. Like I received everything from Apollo
Mhm.
in the contract. But if you like to, we can move it both of those items to the next meeting.
I
because
think it probably makes sense to move before them.
If you like,
They're both
it'll allow you to
before or
time
after
to look at
school.
the contract and anything. If you have any questions, you can send them to me. I can send them to the vendor too. That makes sense.
People okay with that?
A second.
Wait, we're moving on this motion?
So, yeah, so under, item 13B, right, so initially we were planning to vote on, the leasing agreements for Apollo and YMCA, which are both before and or after school programs. The YMCA contract is not finalized yet. We're waiting on details from the Y. And so we're just proposing moving those two votes to the August 19th meeting.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just thought we were still, are you done with the principal update?
This is part of my principal update.
Okay, I would rather like we go through the principal updates before we start.
Well, it's part of it. We're already there.
That's
Yeah.
fine. There's one other item to vote on, which was student fees. Do we wanna?
Right, I wanna open that up to discussion, like that was I put it as part of it, but I always, when I do my reports, I always put those items at towards the end
Yeah,
of the report and everything.
well, why don't we go over that?
So, one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up, there has not been an updated student fee. I mean, I don't really have the full historical context. I mean, I just is still, I'm freshly new. But the student fees, to my knowledge, have not been changed since 2009.
They haven't.
No. So, this in light of the current situation, especially with budget cuts that have been taking place and everything, we're, really strapped for cash in terms of like getting instructional supplies, because for student fees, we can't use it for anything. Can't use it to purchase food or anything of that nature. It has to be strictly instructional or anything extracurricular is what the policy states. So what we used student fees this past school year was like to purchase the math curriculum, for example, or online platforms like Freckle, ELA, or also purchases like for CKLA for first grade, like those resource books that any consumables that needed to be workbooks, exactly. I mean, for this year, we did the new math series. So we wanted to, and looking at it and looking what other schools, like we then made a comparison. So we did actually draw up a chart here.
I'm sorry, could you clarify, you said other after-school activities? Instructional, and what was the second thing you said?
Extracurricular.
Extracurricular,
Mhm.
so they could be
It's
used
like
for clubs
purchasing
and
purchasing, as long as it's an instructional nature.
Okay.
And
Would that cover the arts?
yes, art supplies, all that stuff, that would be included in this. So here, I included a proposed, this is the template that has been shared before. We have a proposed update. And here, we did a comparison of the networks to schools, the student fee comparisons in our network. There were some schools that we were looking at that they did not have their e-pay updated.
I got information for those.
Okay.
So for Haight Elementary School,
If you can just let me get through this first and then we can talk about that, yeah. So basically, what we're proposing is a $25 increase for the school in general. So the original fee since 2009 has been $50. So now we're proposing an increase of 25. And I know there's a lot of concern, there are rising housing costs, Roberto sent that email to me about the rising housing costs. That's something that we need to factor in and everything. But also we have to factor in the budgeting situation that we're in as well as a district, because they have taken a lot of funds from us. I'm not just talking about instructional teachers too, but because we have to cover for those deficits, it takes funds away for us to gather those resources and everything. Although we have like funding sources like through the building lease income, like Apollo and the Y, that's just a small percentage of what we get from them. Like Apollo, we get 17%.
Yeah.
That's not really as much.
I think everybody probably understands like the need.
Right.
I would like to understand there is a waiver available.
Yes, and I did want to mention that too.
Yeah.
Because we're not forcing parents to like, there's a
Well,
waiver.
what's the process? How do you approve waivers? Who makes those decisions, right? Like that's important because then we want to make sure that we're still supporting our
Right.
kids who
So,
can't,
obviously, if they're unable to for any financial reason, the rule of thumb has been they go to Lynn, to our clerk, and they fill out the waiver request form with her, and she waives the fees for those individual parents. That's been the historical
So
process.
there's no evaluation if
That's
they
what they've
request
told
it?
me, yeah. There's been no evaluation. Like, there hasn't been basically, oh, you haven't paid your fees or anything. So what Lynn shared with me is like this past school year, about 50% of families paid their student fees. So she said it was about $24,000 that we received in student fees this year.
Okay.
So that's helps cover costs for consumables, for online platforms. So other schools have, I can use my son's school, for example, again, every school's different. They tell us, don't bring any supplies. We're gonna buy the supplies for the students. All you need to do is get your son's backpack, your son's lunchbox, and that's it.
I guess the only concern would be if we raise the fee, how many more families are gonna be not able to afford it?
Right.
And if we're, and you're gonna give a waiver to every family, so are we gonna net any additional funding,
But did 50% of the families come in and fill out the waiver?
No.
So
Madam
that's
Chair,
my
may I
other
be
question.
recognized?
So let's clarify that though, I wanna understand that. So some families just don't pay,
Right.
and nothing is done about that, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm trying, that's something that we need to shore up, because I was trying to get that general understanding too, with what has been done in the past, if a family has not paid or.
So there's no I know at Amundsen, if I don't pay my boys fees, I get an email, you're still, deficit of your fee, pay your fee, we get done for the money, right? So we don't do that here. We don't follow up in any way.
Yeah, I have not seen that.
Shape or
That's
form,
what,
right?
because again, my first year, I'm getting a feel for school and everything, seeing what structures are in place. And that's something that was brought to my attention. That's why I wanted to bring it to the LSC's attention.
Maybe a lot of the reason maybe they're not coming into the school is asking somebody to physically come into the school and, be sort of exposed and vulnerable, and having to bring that up and talk to Sally about it. Some people just would feel uncomfortable maybe doing that. So we could maybe consider an alternative way for them to apply for the waiver that doesn't involve them having to come in person and,
Like an online submission?
something like that.
Matthew just texted me, can I read it? It's just really short. He had a question, what we're talking about. Thank you.
I don't have to wait for public participation.
That would be public participation, yeah.
Okay.
Hi,
Jessica has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jesse.
You got a question?
Thank you. And actually, before I speak, Sonia, can you repeat what you said? I couldn't hear it.
I said Matthew had a question in regards to what we're discussing right now. Just text me, he had a question.
And we just clarified, we'll do it, we'll have to wait till
participation.
public comment.
Got it. Okay. Sorry. I'm having a hard time hearing people that are far away. I just want to say, Mr. Alvio, thank you for the information that you shared. I think it's really helpful to see how schools around us are doing this. I understand that we need more resources, and I appreciate the thoughtful approach. I'm generally in favor of increasing it, and I agree with the conversation that I think it's really important to think about clear, direct language and just really kind of kind and considerate approaches of if folks can't afford the fee or can't afford the full fee, how we approach that. I will also say that there hasn't been follow-up, I think, in general, including I forgot to pay it for a while and then remembered. And so I think being really thoughtful about what follow-up, a gentle reminder, but then also not feeling like we're tracking people down. I think striking a really nice balance and understanding like what that looks like. I'd be curious. I'm happy to pursue tonight, and I would really like to hear more about how we will do that really thoughtfully with families going forward.
So if I'm understanding, you would do like a reminder and then like instead of dunning for money, doing like a gentle reminder with like, you haven't refused, however, here's the link for the waiver, right?
Right.
So it's like it's like in the same email. And from what I'm understanding from you, Principal Avila, is that is it true to say, not to be like Debbie Downer or anything over here, but is it true to say without the increase that like we probably will be taking a hit on instructional supplies in the building, what resources teachers will have to use? Looking at what you see right now.
It's possible, yeah. I mean, or even right now with the current one, like it was like half of us. I mean, we're a school of 1,100, so we're only received half of it. That's 24,000. If everyone paid, like, realistically, we could be talking about $50,000.
And traditionally, we haven't sent out reminders. We haven't. We also don't do that for supplies. We have been very hands off of. You know, like I would never say you didn't pay your fee. I didn't even know who paid or didn't pay or.
Yeah, Roberto had his hand up.
Yeah, so, I expressed my concern to Mr. Avila in an email yesterday. And I just want to express my concern about raising the fees. You know, given Chicago's high cost of living, and rent, property taxes, and everyday essentials, I think we should pause before we ask families to pay more in student fees. I'm really concerned about raising student fees, and that this would be one of the first actions that this LSC takes is to squeeze families, right? Currently, if I'm reading this correctly, right, in the internal accounts, the student fee, it looks like there is a balance. There's a $4,980 balance. And in the entire school year, we collected $24,000. We have a surplus. So why do we need to increase the fees when at the end of this school year, we have a surplus of $4,980?
That's not the student fee.
In the internal accounting balance sheet, it says student fee, $4,980. And that's as of, I believe, the end of May 29.
Actually, we have $10,927
in student fees.
Yeah, you're looking at, there's different lines. There's one for yearbook, there's one for a student fee, there's one for arts, there's a graduation mandatory fee, so in total 10,000. So if I can give additional context too.
If I may, I just want to finish what I have here, right? So, we're gonna vote on Apollo for after school before care, right? Is that correct?
For the next meeting.
Yeah, for the next meeting, but they charge a fee to families. So not only are families gonna pay a fee for before and after care, the school will receive a small percentage. Then we're gonna ask families to pay more, 50% increase, if I did the math correctly, on student fees. Now, you mentioned your son's school doesn't ask families to purchase supplies for the classroom.
Yeah, they charge $150 actually.
Right, so does this school, if we're saying we're gonna increase this fees, but we will not ask families at all to purchase supplies for the classrooms and only purchase have a backpack, your lunch, and a water bottle, and just show up to school, is that what you're
I'm just giving an example.
Okay.
Like we, as a school, every school is different. We have to be strategic in how we say it. Like, and today we don't have to make a decision on the student fee. I wanted to, I brought it as an item, but I wasn't sure if it was gonna be brought to a vote. But we have to be very strategic about this too, because we gotta consider the funding cost per future purchases. Because for example, next year we have to purchase 6th to 8th grade math curriculum. That's gonna be about $50,000. Like just a ballpark estimate, because we're adopting new curriculum. Like this year, just for K-5, we paid about $60,000 in content, and we also have to take into account costs for professional development, which would be an additional $15,000.
Yeah, for me, again, I just don't think if we have a $10,000 surplus for total student fees, I just don't think this LSC, or I don't feel comfortable raising the fees as one of my first acts. Right, that's gonna impact families.
For,
CC's hand has been up for a long time.
I understand that. For clarification for how the meeting goes, you get to state how you feel, and then we have to move on. So we have to, you can state after Principal Avila brings up what he's proposing, we can ask for it to be added to the next agenda, but your dialogue gets cut off. Just this is how the quorum goes for the meetings. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just to move like the public meeting forward, I think you're speaking to like the Roberts rules.
Yeah.
Usually you can ask questions about the reports for clarification 1 or 2 times, and then a motion should be made to vote. I know you're a new chair, so the chair should be kind of like guiding that. We do have chair special training now for that, and
Yeah.
I'll let you take the hand raise.
That's fine. Yeah.
Apologize.
I want to give Cece a chance to speak. I mean, I
No,
totally
yeah.
appreciate your input and I think that's great, but let's make sure everybody has a chance to provide input if they have it. Cece, go ahead.
I was just curious if while you were researching, student fees of other schools, if any of them had like a sliding scale sort of fee system of like pay what you can kind of thing.
Danielle, do you recall?
Can I speak?
Yeah.
Okay, some of them had, very few had a family cap, which is also acknowledged in the proposed plan. Some had, and I did not write them down, but one for sure had, like your first child was X amount, your second child was the same amount, the third child was less, and then it capped off after 3 children. There wasn't a sliding scale. There were, and again, I wish I remembered the school. I don't remember which one, where there was a donate button. So if you wanted to pay more, you're welcome to pay more to help cover the cost of families who could not afford the fee. But I didn't see anything for a sliding scale, CC.
You froze, Cece, but I think that can be considered. I will say, I don't think we're gonna be able to vote on this today. However, I would like you mentioned giving a little bit more context on, to Robert's point, or Roberta's point, like, why do we have a balance right now?
I mean, well, I didn't want to deplete our funds, and a lot of schools do the same things as well, because we could have easily depleted those funds, but we need to have funds in place in our internal accounts in case of any future budget cuts, because we don't know what the budget's gonna look like next year. Like, we don't know. We don't know if we're gonna get any additional teacher cuts next year, because more cuts means less funding that we're gonna receive from the district.
Okay, Carla, I have a question. How the increase was calculated? Was it in base of the items that are here, because I don't have anything to compare, or it was just based on the average from other schools?
I think we were just looking for like a medium, like, we didn't wanna go too high and we didn't wanna go like, like we're amongst some of the schools that are a little bit lower, so we wanted to like do a gradual increase of like $25. So it's not, again, considering cost of living right now for families, we didn't wanna like do like an extreme increase. We wanted to make it just a small gradual increase for families.
I think if you could provide us more concrete details about this money, where it would go, right? Because it really should only cover things that
Structural materials.
the rest of our funding from other sources can't cover. Like, if you can provide some detail on that, but also just more information. I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
it's gonna be a difficult sell.
I can even just get like a proposed, like even for like the math curriculum, for example, I can get information on that as well, what that would look like we already have drawn it up, but I can share what an estimate would look like for purchasing a math curriculum. Now, that's not including the consumables for K-5, because they receive consumables for year 1, but then we have to get consumables again. Like, that's something that a school has to keep purchasing. like for any math, like for math series, for example, or any other resources, like, you know, if we're a phonetic series, like that we need to purchase consumables for, we also have to invest money in that. So there's different things that, like, you know, it's a lot of cost.
Yeah.
And I'm not even including the online platforms as well, like for ELA, the testing platform as well. Yeah, it's about $8,000. So there's a lot of costs. Like there has been times where we actually did reach out to the LSC too, like we proposed, like we could take some of that funding and move it into student, you know, into a line, instructional line to purchase it with using the building lease income. That money we can use how, you know, we see fit for the needs of the school.
I think, go ahead, Mom.
Oh, I just say this to say, similarly, I know probably you're not tracking this item to item, but could we get a sense of like how much savings the school is getting from people doing the donations and the supply list and things like that? Because we don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul. So for example, maybe we propose that, yes, we raise fees, but we don't ask people to do the supply list, and the teachers don't ask, you know, they send out emails like, we need these supplies, can you bring those in? You know, if we're gonna eliminate that, maybe we can raise fees, but if that ends up costing us more than just leaving the fees where they are and people still bringing those things in.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it would be nice to have ballpark figures on like,
For sure, and I
know?
assume you're working on like planning for funding different stuff next year. I think having more information about why we need those funds and where they would be going, rather than just a cushion, right?
Right.
Like, to me, a cushion is not justified.
Right, I can
So,
get
like,
those ballpark estimates of what would need to be funded even for next year already, like, because again, it's rising costs. I mean, another thing that I could bring to attention is technology. The district has told us already they will not be replenishing technology.
Okay.
That it will be on the school's cost.
Just one more comment, and then I think we need to like move on. I mean, we can vote to have this be a discussion item at the next meeting, once we have more information, but go ahead, Jeff.
I would second that motion when it comes up. And, my request, Mr. Avila, I appreciate what's been, requested, and I think requesting some clarity similarly, Cece, I loved your idea, and so I think understanding like what a communication plan is for families, and follow-up, and how we move thoughtfully, with everybody in mind in thinking about this.
Agreed.
All right, motion to, I mean, we're basically motion to move these 3 approval items to the August meeting for the 2 lease agreements and for student fee discussion.
Take a roll call vote.
Yeah, roll call, start with, yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
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 Yes. Papadopoulos, yes.
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 Yes. Okay. Just Cece. Voting on the motion to move the leasing agreement and student fee discussions to August.
Jess, yes.
Okay.
See, that looks like a yes.
Yep, okay, great. Okay, open it up for public participation. Anybody,
I think Matthew.
company, oh, right, Matthew.
Look, we also have a sign up sheet over there.
No, I mean,
Nobody signed it.
Okay.
okay, 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Just wanna know how many, do we have an idea how many students and family have not been able to pay the fees? And is there a way for families that can afford it to contribute more?
Yeah, good thoughts. It sounded like 50% or,
Yes,
you know,
that's what.
so could not pay the fee or didn't pay, or did you say didn't pay the fee?
So how many families contributed, and is there a way for families, the option to contribute?
Correct, yeah.
And that's something we can look into.
Along the lines, the same as what we looked last year for field trips. People wanting to sponsor their families.
Right, I mean, I know kind of like we're trying to go through FOP as well, because there was that big discussion of like, you know, how could that be coded in Aspen and everything.
Okay, that was it for me. Okay, no other public comment? Great. I guess, anybody have any announcements for me? Okay. I don't, the check-in on norms thing is not something I'm familiar with in previous
So
LC
our-
roles, so,
Our norms?
Yeah.
right, so what does that mean, check-in? What am I supposed to?
Matthew used to read it at the start of the LSC meeting.
Oh, sure, but we also read them off at the end? Like,
No,
what?
No, read them, like, I don't know what you guys did in the last organizational meeting. Did you guys check on the norms, like, making updates to the norms?
If anybody can help me update it, he's been in public participation and share it with
Okay.
us.
Okay. So yeah, normally Matthew would reads the norms. at the
Yeah, we
beginning of
could
each
totally
meeting,
do that. We can totally do that. All right, great. Motion to adjourn? Where am I at?
Second.
Yeah, yeah, I'm getting out of here. Yeah, okay, second. Roll call. We got a roll call, right?
Yeah, you
do.
Motion to, so
Avila, yes.
Adjourn. Okay.
Vivian's, yes.
Miller, yes.
Gonzalez, yes.
Gonzalez, yes.
Roberto, yes.
Yes.
Just, Cece, good?
Yeah. Recording.
Okay, great.
next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cece, enjoy your summer.
Yeah, have fun.
You questioned university about.
It's like 2 hours.
Mr. Avila, thank you for printing that.
Yeah, I'm like,